These are the exercises for Futato Chapter 20. Again, same procedure. The omitted sections will be sufficiently explained with the answer key. 20b is our first section. So we have, of course, going right to left, what we're going to have here is the infinitive construct prefixed with a lamed. Most of them will have lamed. Some will have something else, another prefixed preposition as we go. But we just want to translate with the preposition in mind. So, number 1, liktov, to write. Number 2, lizkor, to remember. Number 3, lizboach, to sacrifice. Number 4, limlok, to reign or to rule. Again, if you know your vocabulary, those were easy. Number 5, lashevet. Again, this is an example where we have a different infinitive construct pattern. We have sagol, sagol, tav. And again, that's a second pattern that occurs with some first yod verbs and some first noon verbs, and then a few of the odd ones that were in that square, that block in Futato's grammar that I talked about in the overview. So when you see sagol, sagol, tav, you should be thinking, might have an infinitive construct here. And so try out a first yod or a first noon for the lemma. Yeshav would be an easy lemma here, so we know we have an infinitive construct from yeshav. So the translation is to dwell or to live. Number 6, la ledet, to give birth. The lemma would be yalad. Number 7, when he went down. Now, in this case, we have here the prefixed preposition bet. So when you see that, and again, if you know, and for the sake of the exercise, you're assuming this is a verb, something to do with a verb, and you would have yorad from your vocabulary. So when you see a prefixed bet or kaf, prefixed to a verb form, that verb form is going to be an infinitive construct, and bet and kaf give a temporal sense to the translation. So when went down, well, we need a subject, and that's the role of the suffix here. So when he went down. You notice my mouse here, I'm going when he went down. What you will also have is a preposition, infinitive construct, and then not a suffix, but a noun out here, the stated subject. So that it'd be when, if this was the pronoun who, when he went down, without a suffix. So it's a pattern. When you know you have the infinitive construct with a bet or a kaf, you should be looking toward the end for a subject. Okay, that's why I'm doing this. Look at the end. Your suffix will either be a subject or you'll have a stated noun out here, or a pronoun that could be your subject. So number 8, when he, there's our suffix, third masculine singular suffix, when he knew. Number 9, down here, we have when, there's our preposition, kaf. Look for our subject, he, third masculine singular suffix, when he, and it's from bana, built. Number 10, when he, it's from gala, revealed. Number 11, now this will be a little different. We have to, it's a lamed, so it's not a temporal translation. We have to, and then again, infinitive construct, to see. And see, again, just think about the translation. To see, we wouldn't be looking for a subject because it's not when somebody did something. It's to see something. So the suffix functions as an object. So to see him. Number 12, to make it, or him, but it's probably going to be fit better in context most of the time. So again, we have to, then the action, and so we're not looking for a subject. It's not when somebody did something. It's to blank something or someone, okay? To make it. Again, you got to just, these are very simple patterns. If you're paying attention there, there's only really 2 patterns to think about. But they're important because you'll see infinitives in lots of places. Number 13. There's no suffix out here, so we don't have to worry about any object or subject. So we have latate. And tate was one I told you to memorize. Okay, it's to give. This is from Natan. It's the oddest one you'll see. Number 14, la leket. Segol, segol tav. Okay, that says infinitive construct. It screams infinitive construct. The only question is the lemma, and this is going to be from the odd one, halak. You don't have yalak in your vocabulary, so we have to go. 15, here we have a preposition and a suffix, so we need to think about it. It's going to be temporal. So when, kaf, look for our subject, he went out. And number 16, bet, when, look for our subject, he took. It's from lakak. Parsing. Again, these should be pretty easy for you. Look at the first one, ketol, shava holam. That screams infinitive construct. And that's what we have. We have a kal, infinitive construct from katal. Next one, avad ti. Does it have a prefix? Actually, I should have asked that question up here. Does it have a prefix? No. Look, do this one. Does it have a prefix? No. Okay, so it's not an imperfect. The ending T, that tells us loud and clear that we have a perfect, cal perfect, first person, first common singular from avad. The T ending is the dead giveaway. Next one, ektov. Does it have a prefix? Well, aleph can be a prefix. Sure, it does. So if it has a prefix and we have a discernible lemma following, and we do, katav, that tells us we have a kal imperfect, and the aleph means first common singular from katav. Yered, number 4. Look, tsera, tsera. Okay, that was a pattern. I told you to just memorize that's a pattern for the kal imperfect for a first yod verb. So if you remembered that pattern, tsera, tsera, then you know we have a kal imperfect. The yod and no other ending will tell us it's third masculine singular from yarad. Number 5, shevet. What's our pattern? Segol, segol tav. Immediately that screams kal, infinitive construct. And the source, again, first yod verb, that's the first thing to try, is yashav. Number 6, near Do we have a prefix? Well, noon can certainly be a prefix. Is the rest a discernible lemma? Ra'ah? Yes, it is. So very clearly we have a kal imperfect first common plural. That would be the noon prefix from ra'ah. Again, if you memorize these little rules, these little tells, parsing is not so bad. Number 7, gilot. Do we have a prefix? No, we don't. And gimel is not ever a prefix. So we have shava holam. So look at what we did here. Asked our first question, does it have a prefix? Yes or no? No. We don't have anything that looks like a perfect ending. And then so we look at our vowel pattern, shava holam. Again, kal infinitive construct from galah. Next one, 8, amor. Do we have a prefix? Well, aleph could be a prefix, but then we look at our vowel pattern. Okay, comets, holam vav. Now, you probably already know what that is, but I want to stay here a little bit. If you're still wondering about whether this is a prefix form, a kal imperfect, you don't have any pattern like this. You don't have anything like that in your imperfect. Again, you should have memorized your kal perfect and imperfect paradigm so well that you can just by process of elimination know that this, even though it's an aleph, it's not a prefix. You're not looking at a kal imperfect here. So do we have a discernible vowel pattern? Comets, holam vav. Yes, we do. Kal infinitive absolute from amar. Number 9, leket. Familiar pattern, segol, segol tav. We know that's a kal infinitive construct. What would the lemma be? These are often first yod. Do we have yalak? No, we don't. But you remember that we have halak. It behaves just like them. So cal infinitive construct from halak. And number 10, I told you to memorize this one, tate. Cal infinitive construct from natan. Translation. Number 1 here, we have yakolti likro et hasefer hakadosh. So we have yakolti. Here's our verb form. We can tell by the ending. And we can also tell by the ending by now that it's going to be a cal perfect first common singular. You could ask, do we have a prefix? And again, yod is a candidate, but the ending in this case will tell you that it's a cal perfect. So your vocabulary, I am able, likro. Lamed, and then what do we have? Okay, clearly a preposition, kara. Again, if you know your vocab, you know that's a verb. So preposition, prefix to a verb. This is going to be, in all likelihood, an infinitive construct, and sure enough, the vowel pattern confirms it. Shava holam. So I am able to read, et, direct object number, ha-sefer, okay, the book or the scroll. And then we have ha-kadosh. Kadosh is an adjective, so we want to know if we have an attributive relationship. Do they agree? Does the adjective and the noun agree in gender, number, and definiteness? They do. Okay, the adjective has the definite article. That would be a real tip-off. So we have I am able to read the holy book. Again, attributive relationship. Number 2, Yoveh lalechet el beit avika. So start off here with a verb form. Yod, is that a prefix? Well, sure it can be. Is the rest of it a coherent lemma? Avah, it is. If you know your vocabulary, avah means to be willing. So Yoveh, so he is willing. Lalechet, okay, familiar pattern. Segol, segol tav. This must be an infinitive construct. There's a prefix preposition. The lemma, we've seen this already a few times, would be halach. So he will be willing to go to el beit, the house avika, the house of, again, noun, noun. Two nouns together, construct relationship. And you can also tell if you've bothered to do anything with the vocalization. You don't have to. I told you don't have to. But that would be a tip-off too. But two nouns juxtaposed together, think the construct relationship. So to the house of your father. Now it's the house of your father because if you remember, when you have a noun and then a suffix is added to it, the suffix particularizes the noun. It makes it specific. It makes it definite. It's not just any house. It's not just any father. It's your father. Again, it makes it definite. So if the second noun of the construct relationship is definite, then the first noun will be translated accordingly. So, to the house of your father. Number 3, Yareinu la'avor et Torat Adonai ki yishpot et kol avadav. So we go back up here. Yareinu. Okay, do we have a prefix? Well, we could. The rest of it, though, what do we have here? Do we have the lemma ra'ah, which would make this yod out here a prefix? Or do we have the lemma yare, which would mean the yod is not a prefix? So this one's a little tricky. The ending here will give it away. The new ending is going to be a perfect ending. So this is not, the yod here is not a prefix. This is yare. So we are afraid, or we were afraid. La-avor. Okay, if we know our vocab, we have a preposition, and avar is a verb. So we know this is an infinitive construct, and we have shava holam. So we are afraid to transgress or to cross, to transgress, et, direct object marker, transgress Torat Adonai, the law of the Lord, for or because yishpot. Okay, verb form, shafat, you should be able to pick that out from your vocabulary. that means the yod is a prefix, which means this is an imperfect form, kal imperfect. So the law of the Lord, because he will judge, et direct object number, he will judge kol, all avadav, his servants. And it's servants because why? Because the suffix here, av, is one that goes on plural nouns. So we are afraid to transgress the law of the Lord because he will judge all his servants. Number 4, Amaru ki chatatem ki lo shamartem et haberit. So let's go up here. We have a verb form in lead position. We do not have a suffix situation because, again, we have the long U ending. That's going to tell us. You would never have a kal imperfect with an aleph prefix in this ending. Okay, so we know that this is going to be a perfect form. This is going to be a third common plural form. So they said, okay, they said ki, that kata tem. Tem is a dead giveaway for second masculine plural, kal perfect. So they said that you, plural, sinned or have sinned, ki, because lo shamar tem, same thing here, second masculine plural, kal perfect, because you did not keep, or you did not guard, or did not keep, et direct object marker haberit, the covenant. So they said that you sinned because you did not keep the covenant. Number 5, Neitzeh min ha'ir lishmoah el hanavi asher darash et Adonai. Let's go to the first word here. It's a verb form. Again, often you'll have verbs in first position. And look at our pattern, tzera tzera. That tells you right away it's a kal imperfect of a first yod form. Again, you should have that memorized. That should be burned into your mind. So the lemma would be yatzah, and the noon then would be a prefix for a kal imperfect form. So that's the first common plural prefix. So we will go out. Yatzah means to go out. We will go out from ha'ir, from the city, lishmoach. You look at this and you know your vocab. You know that shamach here is a coherent lemma. It's a verb. It's prefixed by a preposition lamed, which should tell you, infinitive construct territory. And the vowel pattern confirms it, shava cholim. So we will go out from the city to listen or to hearken to Hanavi, the prophet. We will go out from the city to listen to the prophet who, there's our relative pronoun, asher, who darash, who sought or seeks, darash. Again, you know your vocabulary, you know that's a verb. There's no prefix, there's no ending, so this is going to be your simplest form, your kal, perfect third masculine singular. So, who sought et Adonai, who sought the Lord. So we will go out of the city to listen to the prophet who sought the Lord. Number 6, Zavoach Tizbach Zevakim Tehorim Lifnei Adonai Ki Kadosh Hu. So look at what we have here. We have Zavok, and look at our pattern, Comets Holim Vav. Again, that is infinitive absolute, kal infinitive absolute. But then we move here, and we have another verb form. Do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. The rest of it is a coherent lemma zavak. And look, it's the same lemma here as was here. And we have infinitive absolute and imperfect of the same lemma. That's that emphatic construction. So we get our person and number from the imperfect. So you, or it could be she, could be third feminine, it could be second masculine singular. We'll just make it second masculine at this point. You will certainly, you shall surely offer zevakim, sacrifices. But then we have an adjective here too. And neither the noun or the adjective have a definite article. So they're both going to agree in gender, number, and definiteness. Neither is definite. So you will certainly, you will indeed offer pure sacrifices, lifnei, before the Lord, for kadosh hu, holy is he, for he is holy. Okay, there's our translation. Number 17. B'shokbam balayla lo yir'u ki Elohehem yishmor et nafshotehem. So what's our first word here? Well, we have preposition, bet, easy to spot. Then our next three letters, shakav. We should know our vocabulary well enough to know, look, that is a coherent verb lemma, shakav, to lay down, to lie with. So that should give us pause. Okay, we have a preposition, bet, attached to a verb form. That is infinitive construct territory. So, bet temporalizes the verbal, temporalizes the infinitive construct. So, when, and then as soon as we see that, and we know we're looking at an infinitive construct, we look over here for the subject, and there we hit a suffix. When they lie down, balayla, at night, when they lie down at night, lo yir'u. Now, our first yod, is that a prefix? Well, it certainly could be because it's yod, and the next three consonants are a coherent lemma, yara. So, yep, that is a prefix. And so we have a cal imperfect, yod, prefix with long u ending, tells us it's third masculine plural. So let's translate it. When they lie down at night, they will not, this is our negator, they will not fear, they will not be afraid. Because Elohehem, their God, their Elohim, their God, Yishmor, again, Shamar, there's our lemma, yod prefix, cal imperfect, third masculine singular. There's no ending, so it's third masculine singular. Because their God will keep or will guard, et, direct object, nafshotehem. Nafshot is the plural of nephesh, so we have souls, and ahem is a suffix that goes on plural nouns. It's going to be the third masculine plural suffix. So, because their God will guard or will keep their souls. So when they lie down at night, they will not be afraid, for their God will guard their souls. Number 8. Na'avod et Adonai tsevaot, kol yamei chayenu ki tov hu. First word, na'avod. For our noon here, could this be a prefix in a verb form? Again, we know our vocab, avad is a verb form, means to serve. Noon is going to be the prefix, so it's a cal imperfect, first common plural, because that's what the noon signifies in terms of person and number. So we will serve et Adonai. We will serve the Lord of hosts, Adonai Tsevaot. We will serve the Lord of hosts, kol yamei chayenu, all the days of. This is a little tricky here, yamei, it's from yom. The plural of yom is yamim. And in construct, again, look at the makafs, the dashes here that join this thing into all of these into a construct string. Let the makafs, the scribal marks, help you. All yamei, this is yamim in construct form, is yamei. All the days of chayenu. Chaim is life. Chaim. Okay, so when you know you have a construct form and you have these Sarah Yod endings, put an im ending on it, and that'll probably help trigger the vocabulary for you. Like yamim here, plural of yom. Chaim is life. So life, your life. And the suffix here, enu, is going to tell us it's our lives, okay? Because if you look at this, look at the dagesh dot here in chayenu. That doubles that yod. So this second yod that you actually see is part of the suffix. So it's enu, and that is a suffix that goes on plural nouns. So we want to translate this all the days of our lives. And you really wouldn't even have to pick that apart, because it sounds dumb in English to say all the days of our life. Okay, our makes it plural, so our lives, all the days of our lives, for tov hu, for good is he, for he is good. So we will serve the Lord of hosts all the days of our life. There, Futato, I think, did it, our life. It should be our lives. For he is good. Again, our life is just awkward English. 20G, Hebrew Bible excerpts. 1 Samuel 24:21, Yadati ki malok timlok. First word, Yadati. Again, Yada, is your lemma. Because of the ending that we have a cal perfect here. Again, you could go through the steps and ask if yod is a prefix, but if you know your endings, you're going to know right away you have a cal perfect here, not a cal imperfect. So, Yadati, I know, ki, that, I know that, malok timlok. Pattern. Okay, this is not looking like any kind of noun pattern we have, malok. We have comets, holem, vav. That screams infinitive absolute. That is the infinitive absolute pattern. So this is the verb lemma, malach. It is cal infinitive absolute. And then we have timlok. We have a prefixed form. The tav out front, the next three is a coherent lemma. In fact, it's the same lemma as this one. Malach, malach. We have infinitive absolute, malok, comets, holem, vav. And then an imperfect, timlok. So we have that emphatic construction again. So I know that you will certainly rule, or certainly reign as king. Okay, that's our translation. 1 Samuel 20 verse 5, Ve'anoki yashov eshev. There you can even hear that you have the same lemma going on here. Ve'anoki yashov eshev im hamelech le'ekol. So, there's our conjunction and. Anoki is our first person personal pronoun. And I. Then we have yashov. There's our pattern. Comets, holem, vav. That's an infinitive absolute from yashav. And here we have tsera tsera. That's a cal imperfect of a first yod verb. And that would mean the lemma is yashav. So here we have same lemma. Infinitive absolute, imperfect, same lemma. So what do we have here? We have, again, this emphatic relationship. So we have here infinitive absolute, and we get our person, the number, from the imperfect form right here, first common singular. So it's from yashav, which is to live. So we have here, I will certainly live. But the fact that we have anoki here as well makes it even more emphatic. So you could translate this, and I myself will certainly live, or will certainly dwell. And yashav can even mean sit. So I'm looking here at the rest of the verse, and that probably fits better here. And I myself will certainly sit with Hamelech, with the king, le'ekol. Lamed, preposition. The other three consonants, akal, that's a verb lemma. So verb lemma prefixed with lamed, infinitive construct territory. And the vowel pattern fits. Shava, holem. So, and I myself will certainly sit with the king to eat. Or to dine, might be better English to say. And the last one here, Deuteronomy 29:3, an excerpt from that. Velo natan Adonai Lakem, and Futato gave you that one, it means to you. Lev lada'at ve'enayim likrot ve'oznayim, ve'oznayim. I mixed up my Zion with my noon there. Got to work on my bifocals here. So lirot ve'oznayim lishmoach. Okay, so we have velo natan Adonai. So and not. There's our and, our conjunction, our negator. Natan is third masculine singular cal perfect. So he gave, and who's the he? Well, it's Adonai. It's the Lord. So and or but the Lord did not give to you. The Lord did not give to you lev la da'at. A heart. It's a heart because there's no definite article. A heart, and here we have lamed, And then da'at. We have patak, patak, tav. Again, that's a possible pattern of an infinitive construct. Well, if that's the case, that would mean the lemma is yada, because it's either some of the first yod verbs or some of the first noon verbs that take this alternative infinitive construct pattern. So, and it is from yada, so he did not give to you a heart to know, and, or you could in construct translate or in context translate this conjunction as or, but however you want to do it. So, and or but the Lord did not give to you a heart to know, or and einayim, eyes, that's the plural for eyes, lirot, eyes to see. So we have lamed, and again re'ot, shava holam. In this case it's actually holam vav, from ra'ah. Okay, eyes to see, ve'oznayim. And ears, lishmoach, same construction. Lamed, we have a verb lemma, we have an infinitive construct. Here's our shava holam. And ears to hear. So the complete translation here, and the Lord did not give to you a heart to know or to understand, and eyes to see, and ears to hear. That's the end of the exercises for Futato Chapter 20.